Easy. All you have to do is go to thefunkyuncle.live and click on that donate button. Help make a difference in the lives of those that make such a big difference in ours.
Sure, we put on a lot of really great concerts here, live from the Funky Uncle on Friday nights. But what's it really all about?
I've been told, make sure your body slow where you roll, living that way you say, hey, 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 pop you way. Uptown ruler down, fire on the bayou. Feel good music, I've been told. Make sure your body slow where you roll, living that way you say, hey, 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 pop you way. Uptown ruler down, fire on the bayou.
Lovely Friday night, right here from the Funky Uncle. It's where I have spent almost a year right here in this spot enjoying live music with you at home. We've been doing this for 58 weeks now, 59 weeks, I believe, and we have raised so much. I'm going to tell you all about that later, but the reason that this has been so amazing is that we have had incredible musicians each and every week bringing music to you. I've always said you can listen to music on all those streaming channels all you want to, but to get a chance to watch musicians make music, oh man, that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. We've got Frenchies that are painted each week. Frenchie paints these live event portraits each and every week that have been just absolutely amazing. You can hear that music when you look at these paintings. I want you to support us. It's very, very easy. We've got the Funk Fund. I need you to text FUNK to 36413. Please do that before you move your coffee table and start dancing in your living room. Take one more minute to share us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube and Instagram and all those things. Take a minute, call your family, call your friends, call your dog if he's got a credit card so he can help donate as well. I'm going to tell you what your money has been helping us with all year long and how you can help us, because this is going to be really, really special. Now, tonight, we have got something that we have not done before, and as far as I know, has not been done before. We have Jake Eckert and Friends featuring the Dirty Dozen Brass Band Horns with Big Chief Juan Pardo. I am so excited. I am so glad that dancing is now legal in the state of Louisiana, because y'all can't make me sit here all night long. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do one more thing, and I need you to do it for me too. I'm going to need you to wash your hands and stomp your feet.
Welcome, everybody.
Well, that ain't no sin. Done been 1 year. Well, that ain't no time. I got friends both dead, down dead, and gold love. Done 1 year, yeah, 299. Won't you give me a little cocaine? Yeah, when I get a little dry. Yeah, give me fine, sexy woman when I get a little frisky. Give me hair on, yeah, before I die. funky, yeah, when I get a little sickly. Give me hair on, yeah, before I die. Yeah, wicked. Okay, my Junko, Pardo. Yeah, little Rudy. Yeah, the man to be. Yeah, he was knock. He was a knockdown loaded. You know he wobble, yeah, all over the. Wobble, yeah, all over the street. He wobble all over the street. We're going to feature Kirk Joseph on this next one. I think I heard it on a commercial. Surprise. I think I heard it on a Verizon commercial one time, but yeah, but
It's all over. Here we go. My baby used to stay all night long. She made me weep. She made me moan. She had my nose open. That's no whole line. Tables is turning, now it's her turn to cry. That's when I used to love her, but it's all over now. Say that with me one time. That's when I used to love her, but it's all over now. That's the truth.
hell, she used to run around with every man in town, spending all my money trying to play them high-class games. It's a shame, what a pity. Whoa, how I cried. It's the same old story, mama. It's the same old lie. And I used to love her, but it's all over now. Say it again, y'all. That's when I used to love her, but it's all over now. Come on, Roger.
She would rub my aching head, sneaking here and there with every man in town. Seem kind of skeptical about things that's going down. That's when I used to love her, but it's all over now. Say it again. That's when I used to love her, but it's all over now. One more time, Jake. That's when I used to love her, but it's all over now. Whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah. Oh. It's smoky in here.
Yeah, yes it is, and not for the right reasons either. Hey. Oh my goodness.
I don't know, Dirty Dozen's pretty hot.
Jake, Eckert, and friends. Jake, you got some good friends over there. Why don't you tell everybody who you got playing with you tonight?
All right, well.
Roll call.
We're playing together.
Okay.
So that's my old friend. I call him Bloaty. That's Mr. Gregory Davis on the trumpet, one of the founding members of the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. You know, we got all the originals up here now that I'm looking. My old friend, the one that gave me the call and hired me in the Dirty Dozen Brass Band many years ago. That's my compadre, Mr. Kevin Harris.
Hey, how y'all doing?
El Jefe, the man. This man was like my daddy on the road for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
This guy, you know, kept
him.
me in line for a long time. The one and only, this man played with Fats Domino. There's not much more to say than that. And he is a one of a kind. There's no two ways about that. No two ways that this man ain't one of a kind. That's Mr. Roger Lewis, y'all.
Yeah.
We call him Chrome Dome. The man right here behind me, I would not be standing here today right now without this guy behind me. He said that goes two ways.
Aww.
And we had a lot of stories together. And it was Kirk that brought me into the whole thing around Hurricane Katrina. And there's nothing that needs to be said about Kirk Joseph that Kirk Joseph doesn't say himself. When Kirk's in the room, it's a better place. The one and only Mr. Kirk Joseph on the sousaphone, y'all. The birthday boy back here on the drums.
Birthday!
One of the newer members of the New Orleans Suspects. He's played with everybody, John Cleary, Tab Benoit, everybody. That's the birthday boy, the one and only, Mr. Eddie Christmas, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Uh-huh.
And back here on the keyboards. Back here on the keyboards, one of the most talented musicians, pound for pound, I've ever come across in my entire life. I remember when I first saw him I bet you it was 14 years ago on Frenchman Street, and he was real young, and he had a laptop and a keyboard playing. He was playing like giant steps or something at 300 beats a minute. And then I saw him play the organ with his feet like 2 years later. I said, oh, it's one of these guys. So literally one of the coolest cats and finest musicians I know. That's Mr. Joe Ashlar on the keys, y'all.
Yes, indeed. And the incredible Jake Eckert. Yes, indeed. Well, we are here for a reason. Number one, we're here to bring live music to you. Because for so long, I was corrected a while ago, this is 60 weeks. 60, okay? We get a discount at movie theaters now, all right? We're 60. AARP. Yeah, I know. But for 60 weeks, this started out as how can we help not only our musicians, but our gig workers? Because I say this each and every week, and I mean it. For every band that is out of a job, there is a sound engineer, a lighting tech, a guitar tech, a drum tech. Do you know they got those, Eddie? They got guys that like bring your drums in for you. Yeah, they do. We'll have to find you one of those, all right? And when you've got all of these gig workers that are affected as well. And our musicians, as hard as it was, some of them were able to sit down on their sofa and turn on their Facebook Live and turn their camera backwards and make a little bit of pocket change. But what was a lighting tech supposed to do? sit on Facebook and turn his living room lights off and on? I don't think so. There you go, Anthony. It just didn't carry as much weight. So we wanted to take care of those guys as well. And you have done that. And I'm going to ask you to still continue to do that. We are so blessed to have a spot to do this in from the Crew of Tux. The Crew of Tux is one of my favorites, not only because they've given us or allowed us to use this incredible space. They're one of the most diverse crews that has ever out there. And they have a lot of fun, too. They really do. They have got, I mean, everybody is welcome in the Crew of Tux and has a blast. So I want to thank them, the Fat Bankers. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, AOS Interiors. AOS Interiors has been with us off and on now for 17 weeks as a sponsor. That's incredible. And if you have a business that you think getting your name out just might help, please do so. We have raised, to date, I want to get this right, $363,801.01. Yes, oh my God. Can you imagine? And you know what the best part of that is that's 100% in, 100% out. This is going to musicians and gig workers. There is a button on our website, thefunkyuncle.live, that tells you how you can ask for some assistance and get some relief, because that's what we're here about. That's what we're asking you to do. There is light at the end of the tunnel, baby, but we are still in this tunnel. We got a lot of catching up to do. And I want you to help my friends, these musicians and this incredible crew and these gig workers, to hold on a little bit longer until we really open back up. Can you do that for me? Text FUNK to 36413. Become a member, become a supporter, just like all these other folks have. Now, I need to dance. If I'm going to sweat this much, I got to be dancing, all right? So it's getting warm here in New Orleans, which means what? We dance harder, all right? I need you to go do something for me, though. What do I need you to do? I need you to wash your hands and stomp your feet.
Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Go on, Lord, and tell him.
Say, now if you sick and can't get well,
tell him what you want.
I said, now if you sick and you can't get well,
tell him what you want.
I said, now if you sick and you can't get well,
tell him what you want.
Oh, call him up and tell him what you want. I said, Jesus on the main line.
Tell him what you want.
Oh, Jesus on the main line.
Tell him what you want.
Oh, I said, now Jesus is on the main line.
Tell him what you want.
Oh, call him up and tell him what you want. Listen what we're gonna do. I said, call him up, tell him what you want. Oh, call him up, tell him what you want. Oh, I said, now call him up, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Talk to him, Roger. Talk to him, Roger. Check this out. Check this out. One day I got sick. Couldn't move my feet. Somebody said you better call him. I got sick one day, couldn't move my hand. Somebody said you better call him. I got sick one day, I couldn't see. Somebody said you better call him. So you know what I did? I called him up. That's what I did. Here we go. I said, call him up. Call him up. Tell him what you want. Whoa, call him up. Call him up. Tell him what you want. I said, now call him up. Call him up. Tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. Talk to him, Jake. Talk to him, Jake. Put your hands together. Come on. Put your hands together there. Come on. Put them up. Put them up. Getting y'all ready. Don't need no boarding pass. Do what you gotta do. Everybody say, I said, call him up. Call him up. Tell him what you want. Oh, call him up. Call him up. Tell him what you want. I said, call him up. Call him up, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him. Say it down, everybody say. Said call him up, tell him what you want. Oh, call him up, tell him what you want. I said now call him up, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him. Here we go.
Thank you, Bloaty. Call him up. Without a warning, you stole my heart. You took it, baby, tore apart. You left me sitting here in the cold dark crying. You said your love for me was dying. So come on, baby, come on, please. I'm begging you, baby, I'm on my knees. So turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Well, let it shine, 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 let it shine. Here we go, y'all. Get a little lonely in the middle of the night. I need your love, baby, make things alright. Come on, baby, come on, please. I'm begging you, baby. Just a little bit high, just a little bit high down. turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Just a little bit higher, like Colonel Bruce. Just a little bit higher, just a little bit higher now. Just a little bit higher. Ooh, just a little bit higher, just a little bit higher, just a little bit higher, just a little bit higher. And I say,
Very superstition, riding on the wall, riding on the wall, riding on the wall. Very superstitious, superstition, yeah. The ladder's about to fall, ladder about to fall, ladder about to fall. 13-month-old baby, broken looking glass. 7 years of bad luck, good things in your past. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition is the way. Hey, superstition is the way.
Slaw, y'all.
believe. Superstition in the way, yeah. Yeah, hey, Superstition in the oh, living in the way, yeah.
We'll do a song written by Buddy Miles. Appreciate everybody tuning in there on a Friday night with the world's finest Dirty Dozen brass band horns here. The world's finest tuba player behind me, Mr. Kirk Joseph. Joe Ashlar and Eddie Christmas, y'all. my mind. Listen, every time, you know I go out my front door, yeah. I feel like committing a crime, 'cause she got me running, she got me hiding, she got me run, hide, yeah, and she got me running, she got me hiding, she got me running, hiding, yeah. It's like Alan said, I got to be myself and do my thing. A little soul can't do no wrong. Yeah, everything I do gonna be for funky. From now on, let me hear you sing. Everything I do gonna be for funky. From now on, yeah, everything I do gonna be for funky. From now on, well, some may say that I got no class, but I do what I wanna do. Gotta groove with me, mama, if you like, and see what we can do. But let me hear you say, everything I do gonna be funky. From now on, everything I do gonna be funky. From now on, come on, Kev. Everything I do gonna be funky from now on. Well, never before have I felt so good being natural me. Minor hang-ups, yeah, minor ties, but deep inside I'm free. You gotta let your head down and get down with the dudes to say what's right or wrong. Everything I do gonna be fun. everything I do gonna be funky. From now on, let me hear you say, everything I do gonna be funky. From now on, let me hear you say, everything I do gonna be funky. From now on, let me hear you say, everything I do gonna be funky.
From now on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is what we do here at the Funky Uncle. Oh, my goodness. Let me see. I've been dancing. I forgot all about my notes. Oh, well, it's one of those things, Now, look, I hope while y'all took a little break and y'all decided that y'all were going to stop dancing for a minute, that y'all were looking at the website. Because when you go to the funkyuncle.live, there's a bunch of things. You can just click to donate, or you can text FUNK to 36413, or you can click on our Funky Shop. And our Funky Shop is where we have all of our merchandise. We've got socks, we've got hats, we've got T-shirts, sweatshirts, masks. I mean, we've got all kind of stuff. If you can't find something you like, you send me an email, and we will be more than happy to make that happen for you, all right? Because you are what does this for us. That's right. You are the reason that we have been able to keep this going since April the 3rd of 2020. Wow. Who would have ever thought that we would be in this spot right now? Who would have ever thought that the people that bring us so much joy in our life was going to hurt for this long? It is what it is, and we don't have to just accept it. We can do something about it. You can click on that donate button, and you can change the lives of those who do so much for our lives and mean so much to us. We have had an incredible crew here that has been working every week, basically for nothing. All right, I'm going to make them come up here in a little bit, or I would, except they're working. My sweet friend Stephanie, who is on the back side of this camera right now, she sits on her knees on this floor every week, making sure that this camera is pointed at the people it needs to be pointed at. And it's folks like Stephanie and Gage and Grant and Easton, I feel like I'm on Romper Room, and Joey and Christian and Ed and BJ and Shane and Anthony and Kat, our interns. We got interns here, folks. I mean, my gosh. Maya, where's Maya? All right. I know I forgot somebody. I forget my own name, but it's okay. It's okay. What I need you to remember is to text FUNK to 36413. Because that's how you can help. You can go on our line. You can buy these Frenchy prints. If you weren't here and you weren't able to bid on a Frenchy painting, all you got to do is go and you can buy a print. You can buy a print of any show that we've done. It means so much. You know what? Frenchy has 40% of our income has come from our Frenchy paintings. I mean, the talent and the dedication from Frenchy. I know that's over $150,000 that he's raised by his paintings alone. That means so much. And if it means something to you, I need you to go to the funkyuncle.live and click on that. I want to thank our sponsors who make it happen. ASO and ASO. It's one of those nights, baby. AOS Interiors. AOS Interiors, 17 weeks. I messed that one up. But that's all right. Because we're not perfect. This whole year has not been perfect, but you can make it better. Please consider helping us out. And I need you to do one more thing. What do I need them to do, guys? Help me out here. I need them to wash your hands and stomp your feet.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Yo, I'd like to bring up one of my good friends from the Golden Comanche Mighty on the Indian tribe, Big Chief, Juan Pardo, yo!
Say, Jockey, my friend, we won't buy now.
Injuns, here they come.
Okay, let me hawk out my whole line, baby.
Injuns, here they come.
Hey, Mardi Gras morning, got old time with me.
Injuns, here they come.
Somebody write my mama, tell my dad. Say,
Injuns, here they come.
they got Injun coming on the overpass.
Say, Injuns, here they come.
Say, the only thing y'all that make them mad.
Injuns, here they come.
Tell them go, come and say on these mad.
Injuns, here they come.
Baby Lou and the cool baby, kitty hooray.
Injuns, here they come.
Hey, y'all my boy, let me go down there.
Injuns, here they come.
What a man, y'all coming from across the tracks.
Injuns, here they come.
Say, spy that morning, cut them those slacks.
Injuns, here they come.
Go tell Marie, bringing the big drum ball.
Injuns, here they come.
Say, rock, go tell her, get a big tea cup.
Injuns, here they come.
Where they hooping and hollering in the house bar.
Injuns, here they come.
Say, get ready, go get it, son. Say something like the rock, I like the roll.
Injuns, here they come.
It was all in the paper on the evening news.
Injuns, here they come.
Say go good, come and say gon' give him the blues.
Injuns, here they come.
I told my mama, my baby boy.
Injuns, here they come.
Say Mardi Gras morning, I can jump for joy.
Injuns, here they come.
I ain't the one to play with, I ain't no toy.
Injuns, here they come.
I'm big Juan, I'm the real McCoy.
Injuns, here they come.
Korean lines all I hold in the ground.
Injuns, here they come.
For the midtown coming from way uptown.
Injuns, here they come.
Take downtown, then I'm on the way down.
Injuns, here they come.
I'm going to come from way uptown.
Injuns, here they come.
I just got ready, let's rock a while.
Injuns, here they come.
Say nobody really, nobody bow.
Injuns, here they come.
My spot for hollering, they don't know how.
Injuns, here they come.
Say Mardi Gras wanna make a screaming sound.
Injuns, here they come. Injuns, here they come.
Anything you do, let the million come.
Injuns, here they come.
Oh, Mardi Gras wanna go have my fun.
Injuns, here they come.
I done got ready, I'm feeling good.
Injuns, here they come.
I'ma break my game in the neighborhood.
Injuns, here they come.
Say some of them coming and I wish they would.
Injuns, here they come.
We rockin' and rollin' in the neighborhood.
Injuns, here they come.
I done got ready, I had my fun.
Injuns, here they come.
I shoot on the photo when the morning comes.
Injuns, here they come.
Say tambourine, bringing the night beat the drum.
Injuns, here they come.
Come on, get together, let's all have fun.
Injuns, here they come.
Red light, all I do create.
Injuns, here they come.
Big talk in my feeling, the old time way.
Injuns, here they come.
For the tambourine ringing all over town.
Injuns, here they come.
Say the spy boy hollering, he won't turn around.
Injuns, here they come.
My spy, my flag, my queen, my wild.
Injuns, here they come.
Say Mardi Gras more than we won't bow down.
Injuns, here they come.
Oh, hooray, tell them what I say.
Injuns, here they come.
Say Jock in my feeling, the old time way.
Injuns, here they come.
Come.
Any of y'all welcome, make no more bow. Go to the mansion that morning, make a screaming sound. Yeah.
Big Chief Juan Pardo, yo!
Whatever. Oh, yeah.
We'd like to welcome the Big Chief up here to the stage with us. The Golden Comanche Mardi Gras Indian tribe, y'all, doing such a fine job and looking so pretty. 30 dozen brass band horns.
Feel good to be up here with the legends.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Chief.
Ooh, wait. Can you feel it? Y'all want to go for a ride in my time machine? They say I got an old soul. My time machine is powered by vinyl records, y'all. With all this rain going on, you know what we want to say?
Shallow water, oh mama. Shallow water, oh mama. Shallow water, oh mama.
Check it out, Jake. Let's see if they can sing.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Shallow water, oh mama. Oh, shallow water, shall I say?
Shallow water, oh mama.
I miss shallow water on the holiday.
Shallow water, oh mama.
I miss shallow water when I go downtown.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Oh, spy when the hollow won't buy down.
Shallow water, oh mama.
The loony light don't like Jackie Lucille.
Shallow water, oh mama.
And spy don't get any black ball will.
Shallow water, oh mama.
My spy, my black, my queen, I die.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Oh, man, if I wanna get a dead alive.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Hey, run, tell your mama, Paw Paw too.
Shallow water, oh mama.
They got a big chief coming in your brand new.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Coming by the wild morning on the TV screen.
Shallow water, oh mama.
It was golden, commanded, it was looking clean.
Shallow water, oh mama.
My donkey want water, took him to the well.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Said no more water, my donkey raised hell.
Shallow water, oh mama.
I took him to the river, but the river went dry.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Say, Lord, don't let my donkey die.
Shallow water, oh mama.
I took him to the lake and it was too late.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Tell me how much more can my donkey take?
Shallow water, oh mama.
How donkey died, donkey died.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Oh, body by morning, how I cry.
Shallow water, oh mama.
I cried that morning, but was bowed down.
Shallow water, oh mama.
I won't bow down on that dirty ground.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Say, y'all get ready, let's rock a while.
Shallow water, oh mama.
Say, take it ready, let's take 'em down.
Dr. Wonder, your mama.
Come on. I see ya. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Oh mama,
Oh my, I wanna be the best alive.
Shalom, oh mama,
Tell me how y'all feeling, 'cause I feel fine.
Shalom, oh mama,
Oh my, I wanna was on my mind.
Shalom, oh mama,
Got a tray of deuce in the jack.
Shalom, oh mama,
My spine that morning cut him no slack.
Shalom, oh mama,
Holy wild man coming jumping up and down.
Shalom, oh mama,
Her screaming and hollering, he won't turn round.
Shalom, oh mama,
And the gang not ready, get the hell out the way.
Shalom, oh mama,
I'ma go no command on a holiday.
Shalom, oh mama,
I done got red, I done got right.
Shalom, oh mama,
I'ma beat him that morning, late that night.
Shalom, oh mama,
Horse that life on the battlefield.
Shalom, oh mama,
My starboard coming to shoot through steel.
Shalom, oh mama,
Oh mighty white morning, you better not deal.
Shalom, oh mama,
I still call the one through the wag wheel.
Shalom, oh mama,
Hey, take 'em down.
Shalom, oh mama,
To the downtown, leaving them on the way down.
Shalom, oh mama,
To the hoop and then holler by the way uptown. Say y'all get ready, let's rock a while.
Shalom, oh mama,
Injuns, here we go.
Shalom, oh mama,
Shalom,
Shalom, oh mama,
Injuns, cruising like fire.
Shalom, oh
Oh,
mama,
the American way uptown.
Shalom, oh mama.
Wow.
You're gonna hurt this little short fat woman. I tell you what, I got to get my fan out for this one because it is hot up in here. We are here on a Friday. We are here with the Funky Uncle. We are here at the lovely Crew of Tux Den. I want to thank the Fat Bankers. I thanked all of our our crew a while ago, but I got to tell you something. There is always a leader. There's always a leader when there's something that works as good as this. And this is our leader, is Chris Berry. And if it wasn't for Chris's passion, we would not still be here. We would not still be here.
That's right,
60 weeks later. He thought of this, and he made it happen. He and Christian Duque right there. And these two guys pulled together an incredible crew. And you know what? We're not done yet. And the reason we're not done yet is because we have you on our side. You who want to hear live music. You who want to get back into the clubs, back into the bars, and you want to dance your butts off like we've been doing every Friday night. And there's only one way that can happen, is that for you to support our musicians and our gig workers. I mean, guys, where would you be without the sound tech? I always heard it said, never upset the sound tech.
On the street.
On the street, that's right. That's exactly where you would be. And if it wasn't for you that helped us raise, $363,000 in 60 weeks. My gosh, there we go. $363,801.01. Absolutely. You can do that so many different ways. Text FUNK to 36413. Go on thefunkyuncle.live. You can click to donate. You can buy paintings. You can buy merchandise. You can do all kind of stuff. and you can become a sponsor. Now, I don't know where your tuba player just went, but I'm going to ask you for one more song. This song that I'm going to ask you for is possibly Chris Berry's favorite song. Possibly. Chris Berry is going to get up and he's going to dance with me. Will you do that? All right, he's going to get up and dance with me. I want you to click on that text FUNK to 36413. If you click on a recurring membership, you will become a funky cousin. And I love to have lots of funky cousins. I almost said Funkle again, didn't I? All right. I like Funkle. He's kind of like a dad, but he's a lot more fun, all right? So what I want you to do is please help us out. We need you. They need you. We need music back in our life. And the only way that's going to happen is if you help us, all right? Text FUNK 36413. Upcoming shows next week, 101 Runners. June the 4th, David Batiste and the Gladiators. The 11th, Mia Borders. The 18th, the Riverbenders. We have got so much happening. We are not done yet. We are not done, and you aren't either. So please, we have helped 507 people. 507. We need you. Please don't let it go. I'm going to get up and let's dance to a little bit of Liza Jane. Is that what we're doing? Because that's his favorite tune.
For Chris Berry. Thanks, Dirty Dozen. Thanks, Big Chief Juan Pardo. Thank you to the band of Joe Ashlar, Kirk Joseph, Eddie Christmas, and thank you, Chris Berry, for having us.
And after this, an interview.
say it like this. Whoa, 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 like this. Come on. Like this. Live in New Orleans at the Funky Uncle. Put your hands up about chest high.
All right.
Say about chest high. About chest high.
Yes, I.
Roger.
Yes, I.
Now, shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em up. Hey.
Shake it, shake it, baby, 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 shake it, shake it, baby,
Let me.
shake it, baby.
Whoa, little Liza, little Liza. Whoa, whoa, now.
Whoa, little Liza, little Liza.
Whoa, whoa, now. Whoa, whoa,
I know it's hot. I know y'all been here for a minute, but we are going to sit down. We're going to ask just a few questions. We're going to do a short interview. That I have enjoyed the Dirty Dozen Brass Band for many, many, many years. And I had the honor of interviewing the entire band over at Tipitina's a couple of months ago and learned an awful lot. My favorite thing was when I introduced the band, I asked you to say who you were, what you played, and how long you've been with the band. And you started, Mr. Harris, you started and said, I've been here since the start. And Gregory, you said, I've been here since the beginning. Roger, he says, I've been here since the inception. And I get to Kirk Joseph, and he says, I invited these guys. So there's a little discrepancy about, you know, who started when, except this was an amazing thing, and we're just so glad that it started. Now let's roll. Once Upon a Time, that's right. So let's fast forward to Katrina, and you picked up this guitar player, right? This guitar player named Jake. And Jake, that would be him.
Yes, indeed.
How did you feel? Did you have that moment of, oh my God, I just was asked to sing and to perform with the Dirty Dozen? What was your be sure and pull your microphone up a little bit closer.
Well,
I want him to be able to hear you, all right?
I'd been playing with Kurt before that, so
Okay.
I
It's all his fault.
got my feet wet with it, and and sat in with the band a little bit. And everybody was in California at the time that I had been working with, as far as Anders had been out there, Kirk was there, Honey Island Swan Band was out there because Katrina had messed everything up. And actually, I can remember the first gig, now that we're talking about it, was at the Knitting Factory in Hollywood, California.
Hollywood.
And we were playing with Soul Live. And Kapori was also playing guitar at the time, and they had me up there to play. And after that gig, that was 2006. And that was after that gig, I think that was what
2006.
Yeah.
And then you rolled with it until about how
oh gosh, I can't,
13 maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You,
These guys keep a busy schedule, like, a really busy schedule. I'd had a young child and been in another band, and they hold a real busy schedule and a pretty awesome schedule,
Mm-hmm.
I can't hold a candle to what Dirty Dozen has done for the duration that they've done it. And I was a lot younger when I started playing with them than I am right now, and I admire each and every one of these guys for literally showing the world how to keep something together for decades and decades. 40 plays at Rogers at 40 plus years now.
4 years.
And that's that in
44.
itself. You talk about the Dirty Dozen, my other friends, the Radiators, different people like this. That's playing the guitar is one thing. Keeping a group dynamic together for 40 plus years is insane. And that's one thing I think that I can't hold a candle to Dirty Dozen or any of these bands that have done that, because that's an art within itself. Whether you love or hate each other, or love each other one day and hate each other the next, as happens, it's something that I can count on my hand the amount of bands that have even done this, and they're still cooking to this day.
Yeah.
And I got the back problems to prove it.
And well, if you didn't play the big old tenor, but then again, I got Roger over here, who's who's got the baritone there, and but let me ask you this, we got Kirk over there, he's got the tuba,
Yeah.
and so who is the oldest member of this band? Roger.
This
So-
guy right here.
So Roger, what is it that makes you? Do you mind if I ask? How old are you?
I'm 79. I'll be 80 years old October the 5th.
All right, guys, we got a birthday party to throw. All right.
Yeah,
But let
probably
me
be on the
ask you,
road.
at the age of 79, what is it that gets you up in the morning and plays that horn again every day? We don't need the brand name, just the
well,
generic.
well,
Are there any
easy.
kids watching here?
That's easy. The love of music,
That's what I was hoping you would say.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's the music that
It's
keeps
the love
you
of music,
going.
yeah.
As I knew better than to ask you, Kirk.
The truth is, this is true. I got a text this morning at 5:59 from Roger. He was working on the song we had been rehearsing. He sent me a text of him practicing the song at 5:59 this morning. He was already up, dressed, and shedding in the back in his room, his cave. So.
That is right. Oh man, that's
Meanwhile, I was.
yeah.
So I'm gonna interject and just tell a story, all right? And
Alright.
the band will like this because right now it just dawned on me. The 70th birthday party, so this was 10 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry, I won't get too deep. It's all right. So
Like
no,
I said,
I ain't
we
gonna
don't
say
want
it.
brand
But
names, just
this was
generic.
we were in the country of Australia, and Roger turned 70, and we had a guy named Alan Toussaint with us,
Some guy.
and his band.
Piano player, right? Yeah.
And a guy named John Cleary and his band. And we were playing, I think we had played at the Sydney Opera House and had this incredible tour. We were playing in Melbourne, and Roger had asked the promoter, they said, what do you want for your birthday? And Roger said, I want a bunch of girls to jump out of a cake.
Did you get that for your birthday?
And
He did.
and damn it, so Alan's hanging out, everybody's breaking down, and here comes this huge cake rolling out, like bigger than I am, you know.
On wheels, right?
And Alan comes out and starts playing Happy Birthday, and he didn't know what was about to happen. And then all of a sudden, bam, 2 or 3 girls jump out of the cake. So the best part about this story is not that, but he jumped in the cake. And Alan's was an eloquent individual, you know. He was well dressed and everything. Dirty Dozen has its moments of eloquence and the moments of delinquence. And he jumped in there, and he's dancing in there. And Alan's still playing the piano, and Cleary and everybody were just laughing. And it was a moment of pure bliss. So move onward. That's a little side story about birthdays and what gets him up in the morning.
I don't know what the idiot. I don't know what's gonna happen on my idiot birthday. I don't know. What's
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of birthdays,
You'll see.
Oh, it's a surprise. Speaking of birthdays, let's hop back over here to you, darling. How are you tonight? And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Is this Michael? I was gonna lead a happy birthday, but for some reason, happy birthday always ends up being a dirge around a bunch of people. And I refuse to let that happen. So happy birthday, darling. We're gonna keep it upbeat. We're just gonna talk about how has this last year changed how much music means to you?
Oh man, whole lot.
Is your mic on?
Check. Yeah.
Let's grab that one from above, maybe.
Chris got me.
Oh, you're in. Okay, all right. So just make sure you're up in there.
got me.
Maybe not in the monitor, but you're there. So how has it changed how you feel? How this year? What did it do for you?
It changed a whole lot. Coming from touring like crazy with the New Orleans Suspects, we played a show in Philly, a sold out show with we had Bonarama and Papa Joe's, John Papa Groves, and Billy and guys from Little Feat. A great show. We had no idea that when we come home by the end of the week to leave for the next weekend, that we wasn't going to be leaving and not be leaving for a year or something, So it was an eye-opener. It was a hurting feeling, miss playing and touring and seeing friends. But it also was a good thing, too, because I have kids, and so I was able to spend a whole lot of more time at home and, things I don't get to do all the time, which was cool, But, yeah, I'm just glad to be back playing. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough. The calendar is picking up, gigs around town, and then like tonight for my birthday, I couldn't ask for a better gift to be here playing with these guys, So
happy birthday, man.
So let me ask, have you played with the Dirty Dozen before?
No, I tell you a funny story. About 15, 20 years ago, I got called to sub with these guys for like a 2-day run in Atlanta. But my schedule with Cleary, it wouldn't let me do it, and I was pissed, man. You get a call from the Dozen, you're like, you don't miss it. You know what I mean? Like, you try your best to, like, play that gig, and being a drummer and being from here, that's a gig, like, every drummer's dream to play with these guys. These guys are legends and OGs, So to be here now, it's like, I feel like 20 years ago, but I was so pissed. I don't remember who they got, but I was so mad that I couldn't make that gig. Those two gigs. I was so mad, but I'm glad to be here now, though. It's a blessing.
Happy birthday, darling.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
So Joe.
Yeah.
Mr. Down on Frenchman Street playing Giant Steps and
That's right.
Straight No Chaser. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut.
Connecticut. We won't hold it against you, but
Yeah,
what
I don't
brought
tell
you
everybody
to
that.
New Orleans, and when was that?
I came to New Orleans shortly after Katrina.
Okay.
There was a while after the storm that a lot of musicians moved to New York City, which is where I was living at the time. So I connected with a lot of New Orleans cats in New York.
Okay.
And I learned a bunch of the New Orleans music I'd never heard before, and I was just loving it. once they moved back, they started calling me for gigs down here. So I was flying here regularly, and I realized that this is home.
And have you played with the Dirty Dozen Horns before?
No, it's my first gig.
Wow. Wow.
Could you tell?
So
First time. Grateful to be here.
I'm going to move it down to the pretty man down here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't be nervous.
Oh,
don't
no,
be
not
nervous.
at all.
I'm not going to ask you anything you wouldn't tell your mama. So, yes, I will.
It's all good.
So, let's talk a little bit about how the Indian culture, Mardi Gras Indian culture, has been affected. I have to say, and I have to thank you very, very much that right after Katrina, there was a program called Music for All Ages. And they pulled brass band musicians together, but they also went into the schools with the brass bands and the Mardi Gras Indians. Yeah. And every Indian that I met in that amazing year was very happy. They were like, Mama, come on. We're so happy that you're here. And let me show you what we got. Let me show you this art that you have created. And my heart has just been broken more than once in the last year that I've not been able to see my Indians.
You're not alone in that heartbreak. I mean, it was a lot. It was a start and stop thing for me. As far as with the pandemic, how it affected the culture, just personally within my tribe, the Mardi Gras Indian culture is so much more than the suit, and very few people, take the time to find that out. And we as so many protests was going on during the pandemic, we've been protesting 300 years. The suit is a protest. The culture in itself is a rebellion. So for me, it was kind of difficult to decide whether or not I would put a suit on this Mardi Gras anyway. That was one of the big, because a lot of times we started and stopped. Like we would start sewing and we'd stop, then we'd start, then we'd stop. And just through respect for elders and potentially what it could mean, not being a scientist, not knowing everything, I didn't want to have my tribe be responsible for anyone contracting. It's just hard for us to come out and not draw a crowd.
You didn't want to put anyone in danger.
And I didn't want to put anybody in danger.
And your tribe is?
Golden Comanche.
Thank you. Did you put on a suit on Mardi Gras Day?
No, I did not.
Are you still sewing even as we speak?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me see them fingers. Let me see them fingers, I gave a good friend of mine my grandmother's thimble. I found it in her sewing kit, and the gentleman cried tears that he was accepting something that meant a lot to me. And now every time I see his suits, I have to think there's a little bit of our family in that. And there's a lot that people don't know about the Mardi Gras Indian culture.
Yes.
There's the making of the suits, the artistry.
Right.
There's the tradition of coming out the door and hitting the street.
Right.
But there's also the music end of it. What brought you into the music end of being an Indian?
Two chiefs. I like a lot of unsung heroes. The chiefs that we within the culture know are vocal legends, but due to them not getting recordings, people only know what they know, and to no fault of their own. But I watched Big Chief Lionel Delpit of the Black Feather tribe. I watched him and his tribe one day, and the swagger in which he would sing a song is like no other. I wish there were enough recordings for people to find out who the GOAT in the street singing to me is. One of them for certain, and the other was watching Bo Dollar's Big Chief, Bo Dollar Sr., watching him sing and watching the faces of the community when he actually when that voice just cranked up. it people sitting on sidelines and on the cars leaning like it commanded. And when he would sing, the reaction that his tribe, the way they would react when he would belt out Spy or Flag, and that I wanted to do that. I wanted to vocally affect people in that way. And coming from a somewhat musical background, as I got into the culture, I just that was just something that it was eating at me since a child, since seeing that happen. And some kind of way it found me. The spirit of that must have been for me, because it found me, and I'm here today doing that.
I know what my favorite, and it's a prayer, but what is your favorite song to sing?
Whoo, I need a couple of more years to answer that one.
Currently, what is your favorite?
I love to sing Indian music. I'm being straight.
What can you throw back and give me right now?
A song? I mean, any of them. Shallow Water, So.
Indian Red?
That is a song that I deal with in its proper setting. It's like, for me, case in point, I don't perform it on stage. Mm-hmm. To me, it's not a stage song. It's fine for those who do it. The elders with way more years than me do it. It's fine. It's just the way that it speaks to me and how I feel about it. Indian Red is just a song that I sing at Indian practice, in Mardi Gras morning, St. Joseph night, within the ritual context in which it was designed for.
Do you feel that it's a prayer?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That touches my heart. And to see the brass band and the Mardi Gras culture together, and then to have these other incredible fine musicians up in the middle of it, that is just absolutely
absolutely.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it, guys?
That's what music does.
It does. It does. So Kirk, you're awfully quiet over there.
Evidence.
Come on, Unc.
I'm listening and
Jake
learning.
was talking about Roger jumping in the cake, and it almost sounds like a story that's, too good to be true.
Okay.
I got pictures.
Let's get that camera up in here. Dun, dun, dun. Come bring me down.
He's gonna make you famous.
Somebody
we're
got
gonna
a
have to sit
video.
down and have a glass of scotch together and talk about that. We got pictures. All right. So, Kirk, what is your favorite part of things like this? I know the Dirty Dozen over the years has had many collaborations with people. I mean, every article wants to talk about your Dizzy Gillespie. You were talking Monday about Art Blakey, right?
Blakey.
And
yeah, that was an encounter I had myself with him, and pretty much same thing with Dizzy. But then it also grew where the band also had a chance to have those encounters with those guys as well. But fortunately enough for me, I had them to myself first, which was great. It was, I guess it was meant, like Juan just said, I guess it was meant to happen that way. Like I said, when I was telling you last week when I did the show with the North Mississippi All-Stars, the encounter I had with Dizzy Gillespie, which was my first time in Europe, it was over the top for me, because at that time he had just re-released Night in Tunisia with Shaka Khan.
Ah, okay.
And so it was back on the chart. So, as a kid, I knew about it because I come from a musical family and, in the jazz world, and hanging out with people like Roger Lewis as a young man that I was learning things from as far as jazz, things like that. But to actually be in the company of this legend, it was just extra special. But we had the pleasure and the blessing to have met a lot of great people and played Clark Terry. It list goes on. It just grows. Manhattan Transfer. I really have to sit back and think. Because there was a time when we were together, that was people we had met. But then when I was gone, they were meeting with also people, the Black Crows and stuff of that nature. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't have the pleasure to be with. But spiritually, I think I was there. Yeah.
So New Orleans has always been about passing it on
True.
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
There's stories of how did you learn music? Well, I sat outside the window of the bar and I listened, and somewhere along the line it might have been a D7, but that kid just heard a D and the music changes a little bit. And there was a certain amount of job security that some of the seasoned musicians weren't real keen on sharing everything they knew, because
some of them.
Now, I think Katrina was a big eye-opener that we were going to lose our music.
That's what I felt.
We were going to lose our
I
culture
really
and our
felt
traditions
that.
if we did not share.
I felt that.
And I'm so grateful for those of you who were a part of that, and you know who you are. And Roger, music for all ages. Saturday mornings, National Historic Park, Jazz Center. Saturday mornings, every musician had an empty chair next to them, and a kid would come and sit in that chair and learn from you guys. And that shaped these kids that are now, he was a big part of that. And Kirk had a little bit of a handle in that. And
and Tipitinas.
But out of those kids, they're now 27, 28, 29. I'm an old woman. I can still call them kids, all right? You know, for that matter, you know, Jake, you're still a kid. Joe, you're definitely a kid, all right? But I'm an old woman. I can call you a kid. But you really helped shape them. But now we've got even another crop of kids that are coming up, and they were getting all of this education, and then all of a sudden, slam, and it stopped. And they're sitting at their dining room table with mom, who is a bank teller, and dad, who is a, branch manager of something, and they don't have that music anymore. What can you tell, Roger, what can you tell the kids that are still desperately out there reaching for this?
Even though that happened, I mean, a lot of kids was doing there was a lot of Zoom teaching going on and phone interviews and stuff like that. So they never really stopped, dealing with the music. That time, a lot of kids was reading and studying and doing what they do. So when they come back, they be ready. So the music never really stopped. The pandemic didn't really stop the music, because kids were still studying the music.
All right.
It'll always be like a forest fire.
Mm-hmm.
Forest fire comes through and burns everything down, and you think, this land is destroyed. But slowly over time, the plants start growing again, the trees start growing again. It'll all come back, and when it comes back, it'll be different, but different does not mean that it's not good. Sometimes different can be better.
That's right.
So it'll the music and the passing on, of the music, the passing on of the torch, it will always happen. Whether sometimes people think they're doing all they can to stop stuff, like politically speaking, there are people who are trying to stop people from voting. That doesn't mean that they don't want to vote, or they're not going to find a way. So the music will always survive. It'll always come back.
Oh yeah. Bones heal stronger.
Yeah, it has to be, because it had to fight harder to get back, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I want to thank you, what you have all done for the Funky Uncle. I just, from my heart, I have to thank you all so much. And I have to thank those of you watching at home, those of you who have donated, those of you who have supported us. This could not have continued for 60 weeks. And it won't continue unless we've got your support. So please check out our website, thefunkyuncle.live. Text FUNK to 36413. Please click on that donate button, because we're not out of the woods yet, not by any means. We've got a lot of catching up to do, and we can only do it if you do that, if you support. And guess what? You know what else I need you to do? Guys, y'all want to help me out?
Wash your hands and stomp your feet.
Thank you, darling.
I've been told